Well, we'll cross live to Chatham House in London, where presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party, Abio Kwankwaso, is unfolding why he is the best man to lead Nigeria.
While the country represents about 2.8% of the world's population, it currently contributes more than 10% of global deaths for pregnant mothers. Each year, approximately 262,000 babies die at birth, the world's second highest national total. Infant mortality currently stands at 74 per 1,000 live births, while for under fives, it rises to 117 per 100 live births. More than half of our under five deaths, which is 64%, result from malaria, pneumonia, and diarrhea. Poor access to water, sanitation, and hygiene remains a major cause of diarrhea-related deaths. As of 2015, 57 million Nigerians were without access to improved water sources.
So there's 5 more minutes. We have lots of questions coming in. I don't want the audience to not have their opportunity.
Yes, okay. Let me conclude quickly. In conclusion, my dear compatriots in the diaspora, we are indeed very proud of your achievements as global citizens. We are even more proud that you are playing your role in creating a better world and also serving as good ambassadors of our country. Let me assure you that when eventually the NNPP is voted into power and I become president of Nigeria, we shall create an irresistible condition and make our country so attractive as a destination for businesses and career aspiration that majority of you will be attracted to better opportunities at home. Given your wealth of experience, good education, and achievements, we believe you will have better and more important roles to play at home under our administration. And for those that have made the host countries their home, we pledge to you today that our administration will work towards ensuring that Nigerians in diaspora are given the opportunity to exercise their civic responsibility and vote in all general elections. Before I conclude this brief paper, let me say that our incoming NNPP administration will honor all our international obligations related to climate action, trade and investment, fight against terrorism and violent extremism, drug and human trafficking, as well as honor all conventions and agreements that our country is signatory to. While thanking the UK government for the numerous support and assistance being extended to our country, both directly and through a number of development partners, while appreciating the good work that numerous UK businesses in Nigeria are doing to build our economy, our incoming administration will work deliberately to strengthen the Nigeria-UK relations post-Brexit, expand businesses opportunities, and create business climate that will make Nigeria a more attractive destination for investors. Finally, let me say this. Our country is yet at another crossroad. We are facing an election in which, for the first time in 20 years, President Buhari will not be a candidate. We are going into an election at a time when poverty is biting so hard and money-bagged politicians believe that they can take advantage of the very poverty they inflicted on the nation. But unfortunately, we are also going into this election when the election umpire, INEC, has successfully gotten the enactment of some of the far-reaching amendments targeted at improving the conduct of elections and preventing election rigging in Nigeria. My 30 years experience in politics has taught me that free, fair, and credible election requires so many inputs, so many commitments, but the commitment of the president in particular and that of the presidency in general is key. If the presidency wants free and fair election, it will happen. Thus, the burden of conducting free and fair elections, much as it depends on the performance of INEC, politicians, security agencies, and other stakeholders, it largely rests on the corridors of the presidency. While thanking the UK, the EU, the USA, and other friends of Nigeria for their support in deepening democracy in our country, especially the support they are extending to INEC, I want to appeal to them, to the Nigerian president, to ensure that he leaves a legacy of free, fair, and credible election. Luckily for us, the outgoing president was a serial victim of election rigging and manipulation, and also the first beneficiary of free, fair, and credible election in 2015. We are also aware that some anti-democratic forces are scheming to hide behind the possibility of a second ballot in the presidential election as speculated by INEC to derail our democracy. Let it be known that no contraption in whatever guise other than an elected government will be acceptable to Nigerians in 2023. We in the NNPP believe that we will win the election fair and square at the first ballot. We appeal to the president not to listen to any proposal that seeks to undermine the 2023 general elections. We also call on all well-meaning Nigerians as well as international community to be vigilant. I'm also calling on all Nigerians in diaspora to continue to appeal to the governments of their host countries to continue to support our country and ensure that credible elections are conducted. On this note, I will stop here and listen to your comments and questions. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you. Thank you.
Senator, take a seat for a moment and we'll get some questions, and then you may want to go up to the podium again, because with the live stream, it's certainly a lot more effective if you respond to questions standing up. So, who wants to ask a question? The lady there, first of all. I'm coming this way. Madam, there's a microphone just there for you. Do tell us who you are. Keep your question short.
My name is Maryam Garba. I'm coming from Newcastle, originally from Kano State. I have two questions. Perhaps go for one first. It's on education. So when it comes to education, Honorable Senator, you've mentioned the number of out-of-school children in Nigeria is quite high, going up to 20 million. On another perspective, the yearly affair for the ASUU strike in Nigeria is also a concern. So how will the states and the federal government, if you are elected, get children back to school? And what is the proposal for the lasting solution to the ASUU crisis?
Okay, thank you very much. If we have time, we come back for a second question. The gentleman there with the cap on, I think I know who you support.
Okay, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. My name is Umar from University of Brilliance. I would ask a question about patriotism. because patriotism is a key requirement for nation building. And arguably, most Nigerians at home or diaspora hardly say good things about Nigeria. This established a crack that the Western world used to say every shitty things about our country. In other words, Nigerians live in the country they don't believe in. Considering this sad reality, sir, how realizable is a new Nigeria?
Thank you very much. I'm going each row at the moment. So the lady there. Your microphone. Don't worry, we've got time to come here. The front row is not going to be discriminated against neither. Please go ahead, madam.
My name is Hadiza Humba, and I live in Northampton. Your Excellency, sir, the incumbent president of Nigeria had the best chance and probably some of the best policies to break a record by turning Nigeria around. But there were hindrances and hidden forces, which is not an excuse. How do you intend to deal with these hidden forces? Also, the orientation, Nigerians are heartbroken. How do you intend to make them believe in the system? And again, the day you become the president of Nigeria, hopefully, will be the beginning of the end. What will be the legacy you want to leave? Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'll take one final question, the gentleman in the corner there. Yeah, you, sir, with the green jumper. Yeah.
My name is Duke Uputa. I am an independent political analyst and also a Chatham House member. Senator, given that your campaign strategy and promises are very similar to that of Labour Party in many ways, and your main objective is to stop the extraction by the two major establishment parties, is there any circumstances in which you will step aside and cooperate with Labour in order to remove the current extraction in Nigeria?
Thank you very much. Senator, you may want to go to the podium and stand up and respond to those questions.
Thank you.
The final question you received, we did get several of those virtually also, so just a number of people are thinking same thing.
Thank you very much. Let me start with the first question from Maryam Garba from Newcastle. You see, for those who are familiar with our antecedents, definitely will have no option other than to believe that we took education very seriously when we had an opportunity. And I want to tell you that in 4 years in Kano, we took over 3,000 young men and women to 14 countries across the world. In fact, when I came here, I met some marine engineers who I think are here with us. Is there anybody? Yeah, they are here. They are part of over 3,000 that we sent out of the country to 14 countries in 4 years. And that's in addition to the universities that we established, 2 universities in Kano. And I am happy to say that in our country, we have a lot of resources, a lot of money. Anybody who says all these things we are saying are not possible, maybe he is part of the scam or he doesn't understand. We have enough resources, we have enough manpower, we have everything that we require to ensure that each child in Nigeria goes to school. And we have done it when I had an opportunity to go to be the governor of Kano State. Now the 20 million are there. That's why we intend to do 500,000 classrooms in 4 years. We will mop up all the resources that are necessary for doing that. And so that at the end of the day, by the grace of God, our children will go back to school. We have done it in Kano. All our children were given opportunity by building thousands of classrooms in primary schools. hundreds of secondary schools, 2 universities, 26 other institutes in just 4 years, and we believe it's possible. And that's our pledge to our countrymen and women. So the other question on patriotism, you see, some of the issues that we have is that, unfortunately, our leaders were not able to bring everybody on board. We are not able really to convince people that there is good leadership and people are benefiting. Now, one small example I want to make is, contrary to the issue of patriotism as far as the country is concerned, I can assure you the young men and women who benefited in Kano for the 4 years or 8 years I was governor are very patriotic to the state, to the country, and even to our movement, very much committed to that. So that means if we have good leadership that can bring everybody together, I have no doubt in my mind that Nigerians will be patriotic, and in fact more patriotic than many countries that we see today and think they are patriotic. So we will provide the leadership necessary for everybody to be carried along and ensure that everybody is committed to the project and Nigeria. I think the issue of hindrances of our sitting president, yes, I believe there are so many hindrances and they are not different from other expectations or our expectations really. But I want to say that leadership requires a lot of capacity, it requires a lot of experience, people with a lot of education, if you like, and all what it takes really to be the president of the country. So I believe that with our party in power, going by our antecedents, going by my personal experiences, I have been in this game for 30 years now, and I have been in this country for about 10 years. I visited so many other countries as Minister of Defense, as House of Reps, Deputy Speaker, a Constitutional Conference member, and as Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and member of the NDDC representing Northwest, and of course advisor to President on Darfur and Somalia during those crises. So we know that there will always be challenge to presidents and even to a councillor. And how you handle it determines the type of person you are. We believe that we are going to do the right thing and the support of Nigerians. I have no doubt in my mind that all those issues that are enumerated and many more that were not being mentioned would be resolved so that we can have a very new Nigeria for all of us. My legacy, one, we want to unite the country. We want to have one solid country that everybody is given the opportunity, not based on his religion or his ethnicity, but based on the content of his character. And that's what we have done in Kano. That's why everybody, even the biggest enemy, believes that we are very strong in Kano, we are very strong in northern Nigeria today in terms of support, because these are the people who actually know us, know what we stand for, know our capacity, and that's why we are so happy today that what we have sown over the years, I mean, this is the time to repeat. So the issue of legacy, we want to have a united Nigeria, a Nigeria that will not go through all this issue of insecurity, the issue of economy, the issue of education, and so on and so forth, especially the issue of ASUU that was being mentioned now. ASUU and NNPP, we are on the same page. We are working in direction. In fact, I'm happy to say that when I was governor in Kano, there was a time ASUU was going on strike, But Kano branch had to take permission not to join them because they believe that we are doing the right thing. And that right thing will continue when we have the opportunity to bring everybody on board so that, as I mentioned in my speech, we don't have to have or witness ASUU or other unions going on unnecessary strike. The issue of labor, you see, that's the problem we have. The gentleman who stood up there, I'm sure he comes from a particular group or a region without even asking him, just because you saw, if you have a party which is based on ethnicity and religion, that's the difference between Labour Party and, of course, our party, which is a national party, New Nigeria People's Party. Now, we want, please, you see, while we are accusing leaders of being one thing or the other negative, I think the followers also must learn how to be Nigerians, not coming from one part of the country. Let me say that I was one of those initially wanting to work together with Labour Party. But unfortunately, at that time, Labour Party was under very serious media hype, and therefore they could not see reason. And you still not see reason that I will withdraw. I wish you didn't go to that extent. You would have said that to work with Labour or to work with APC or PDP, that would have been more responsible. But you cannot come to London. Maybe people who are here don't even know what is happening. And I want to say that our party, NNPP, is the only growing party in Nigeria today. We have seen the maximum any party, especially the party you mentioned, Labour, to us is like Andrew's Labour salt. Just came, now it's coming down. That's the reality. Just take note of it. And of course, NNPP, our party, is the only party that is now getting support. Forget about big people who are the actual problem of our country. But supporters at grassroots level, we are the only party today. And mark you, we have succeeded in locking northern Nigeria today in terms of votes, in terms of support. Now we are working in the southern part of the country. And for us, the difference between north and south is that north know us more than southern part of the country. If you are from the north, I'm sure you wouldn't have made that statement for Kwankwaso to withdraw for Labour Party. You should go and look at my credentials, my brother. I am a PhD holder in civil engineering. And check your candidate, what he has. I have been in the system for over 30 years now. I have been a civil servant for 17 years. I wasn't a trader, civil servant for 17 years. I was Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps in 1992. I was in the Constitutional Conference elected delegate. I was governor of Kano State for 8 years, and so on and so on. I was in the Senate, and so on and so forth. So when we sat down, what I told them is what I will tell you.
Okay.
If anybody wants to Kwankwaso to withdraw, let's bring criteria and select the best. Anytime I have any better candidate, I'm ready to talk to him. Thank you very much.
Let's take another round of questions. We've still got about 20 minutes. So, okay, all right. Right at the front row, you go. There you go.
Good afternoon.
Do tell us who you are. Short question, please.
Mike Abio, likes my name, publisher, editor-in-chief, African Voice Newspapers, UK. Senator Kwankwaso, thank you for a very detailed presentation. Let me start by saying your other leading candidates also have brilliant ideas in their manifesto. And we do know that politicians have weaponized poverty in our country. And the prediction is that those with the deepest pockets will win the election. Having said that, I recognize the fact that your party is hoping to build a new Nigeria. And the question to ask of the 4 leading candidates, the issue here is trust. The issue is character. You must have had issues like people mopping up PVCs in opposition's stronghold. You would have also been aware of videos circulating on the internet. We have the Atiku Gate, we have allegation of some others into narcotics and all that. So the issue is character. If you are the receiving end of these allegations, or well, to be seen to be one of those who are peddling and also involved in what it's now known as Atiku Gate, what would you do? And what would be your advice to your competitors who are involved?
Thank you very much. I'm going to we have quite a few questions coming in through the live stream through Zoom. One of them is from Chidi Nwoonu, who is saying, as a former Minister of Defence, can you expand on the current problems in the military as you see it and your plans to recruit, train, equip and sustain new army voices? The question on the armed forces of Nigeria. That's a question.
What's the question?
The question is, can you expand on how are you going to reform the military, given your experience formerly as Minister of Defence? And we've been in this row, so this row, and then so the gentleman there, yes, you sir, yeah, with the green scarf, microphone coming.
Thank you. Your Excellency, my name is Dr. Muhammad, and I enjoy your detailed explanation. But sir, like most of the other candidates, you have had opportunity. And I as well like your blueprint and theirs, because I have listened to most of them here. I'm a member of Chatham House. I would like to go by your track record, and not only you, as well them, and as well advising them and their supporters. Let's be looking at your previous record and legacy, because it's there in public. Like yourself, you have been governor for 8 years. My question here is, as a young person, sir, can you elaborate, based on legacy, what you did to young people and what you intend to do? I want you to link it with your legacy, because we need to know what you did so that we may have more confidence on you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And, okay, the lady right at the back there, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. My name is Priscilla, independent broadcaster. So having listened to you, you made mention of the various things that you intend to do. One of the areas was the economic revamping. And in your manifesto, you speak of that being in 3 parts: the ERP, economic stimulation, and you also speak about job creation and so on. And my question to you is this. Given that Nigerians are renowned for setting up businesses, small business owners, and creating so much within that space, what are your plans to work with the African Free Trade Agreement to be able to expand opportunities for Nigerians, because that's a 1.2 billion market, and Nigerians as small business owners could benefit a great deal. We would like to know, sir, what you will do to help them, not only financially, because we know that our financial sector is terrible for business owners. Banks, the loans that are provided are terrible. So please, can you expand on that, what you will do for business owners in Nigeria? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Senator, there's plenty on your plate there. The way I'm looking at the clock, we'll have probably one more round after this. Okay. Go ahead, please.
Me?
Please go ahead.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you very much. Mike, let me thank you for mentioning this issue of money, deep pockets. I believe that 2023 election is going to be slightly different in the sense that everybody is suffering. Everybody has seen the consequences of collecting money. That is on one hand. On the other hand, these people with deep pockets have made people so poor to the extent that even good food, hot meal, is enough to make them crazy. That's the talakawas, the poor people. But I have gone around the country. I have only one state now to visit in the south. Otherwise, I went there 3, 4, 5 times by road, going towards local governments and so on. So I believe that people, the masses of Nigeria, are very committed. Our fear now is more of INEC and other stakeholders, because we have seen what happened in the past. And most of these issues are centered around the villa and the president, not necessarily this president, the ones before inclusive. And as long as the center, the leadership in Abuja will convince themselves to allow the people to go and vote, I have no doubt in my mind we are going to have free, fair, and credible election. And for me, I have not seen any reason why General Buhari will not allow that to happen, because probably it's one of the only or few legacies that he will leave behind. He has been the biggest beneficiary. When we were promoting him in 2015, we were in opposition. Many things happened, and he became president. Despite the fact that he had experience on the other side when he had issues with the stakeholders in conducting election. So we believe that this election is going to be different, and I believe that we'll continue to talk to the people, and the issue of character and trust is very important, and that is our strength. I have been a civil servant for 17 years before joining politics, now 30 years, and I'm happy. I'm still standing here talking to you, and I think that's the best anybody can think of doing. That's the best anywhere, even in this country. To stand in the field for almost how many decades now? If you like 3 or 5 decades, and you are still your integrity is still solid. And I am not sure if there is anybody who can stand up among the leading candidates, or even all the candidates, and say the same. If you say you'll fight corruption, or you'll fight drugs, you'll fight this, you'll fight that, you can't give what you don't have. And people can come and say whatever here for either local or international audience. But the fact remains, our records are there. And if you don't know, I don't know whether in politics, but anybody in politics will tell you that if you don't know what your grandmother has done before you are born, join politics. They will tell you what she has done. So we are so happy about that. The wanting, I'm so happy I'm not being found wanting. So far, so good. And we have seen the advantage of that. We can only do better in the future. Even those who found themselves in the trap in terms of corruption, in terms of drugs, in terms of all sorts of things, probably given the chance again, they will do it differently. But I'm so happy that right from those days, we stood on the right, on the side of the truth. So I have not been found wanting. This question should go to those who are found wanting to answer. The issue of military, the issue of security, I think that's my biggest strength. I have been the Minister of Defense and advisor to President on Darfur and Somalia for 4 years during Obasanjo regime. And during that time, we are not even talking of Nigeria. We are talking of what was happening in other parts of Africa because we are concerned. And that's why our military were in Liberia, in Sierra Leone, in Darfur. I visited them many times. I had discussions with the leaders in those countries. The confidence that they had in Nigerian military was unbelievable. And so also in Nigeria, These are people who are well committed, professionals, well feared by the opponents or enemies. And these are the military that we are talking of bringing back. Now, we don't even know. I don't know. I belong to the expanded family of military. I don't know what is happening in Nigeria now. But all I know is everything will revolve around what we call political will. If there is no political will, nothing will work. And I think that's what is affecting our young men and women in the military today. So, as former Minister of Defense, Chief Security Officer in Kano, I was in the NDDC. In fact, I left the NDDC because of corruption. So many things were happening. I told the President that time he was not happy. Later he realized NDDC was in a mess. And unless something is done, they will continue to do so. And in Nigeria, we have to have the reward system and even punishment system. Now everything goes now. If you take, nobody will call you. In Kano, when I was in government, nobody, I can tell you, will go out there and touch 1 naira. And that's why for 8 years I was governor. I'm so happy that for those 8 years we did not borrow 1 kobo, 1 naira we did not borrow. All what I did in Kano was done with the state resources. And that's why some people wonder here I will do 500,000 classrooms, see where I will get the money. Don't forget, right as we are sitting or standing here, instead of 2.2 million barrels of oil, we are producing just 1 million, 1.2, 1.1. Where are the remaining? Stolen by some people. Where are the people? Who are the people? And that's why we have to stop that. The fighting in south, northwest, even in northeast, is mainly because of mineral resources. People are stealing it from Nigeria and from outside Nigeria. You will only see helicopters picking gold and other resources. That got to stop. All these assets must be taken over by government and be utilized for all of us. And that is what we stand for in Nigeria. So the young men and women, I can assure you, and I'm sure you know it, the gentleman who asked that question, I'm sure he knows, because our biggest support is from the young men and women. In Kano, we took education seriously. 2 years before I left government, there was nobody in Kano who had university qualification that did not go to university. In fact, our universities, 2 universities, I don't want to use we established. We're not even getting students from Kano. And our agenda, unlike what people are insinuating here, was Kano residents, not Kano indigenous. There are so many people who benefited from southeast, southwest, south-south. When I went southeast now, I brought so many people, Igbo, who don't even speak Hausa, but they are all over the world under our scholarship. Because ours, your home is where you live, is not where you necessarily born. And I am happy to say I started politics from being Deputy Speaker House of Reps in 1992. I was not a local government chairman. I was not a champion. I was a national level. I was not even minority or majority leader. Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps, who was a presiding officer of that house. So that's how I started. And along the line, I had all opportunities to be everywhere in the country. And what is important for everybody to learn, including my colleagues, the candidates, is you should try at any given position to be upright. You shouldn't not be found wanting. And once you are found wanting, in countries where they have shame, you don't even come out. You don't mention. So, and you see, politics is not all about making noise. Yes, you are a governor. You are a governor in the corner of a country. That's fine. We have been in the center for many years. Even if I'm not contesting, we want to know that person and say, yes, this is the person that believes in what we believe. Now there are many question marks on some candidates, whether they believe in the country or they believe in seceding from the country. And these are issues in the debates that must come out, and people must come and assure people that this is where they belong. So finally, the lady asked about the economic revamping, helping businessmen and women. This is very critical. You see, in all the countries, you find government subsidizing and supporting people's businesses and so on and so forth, in terms of education, in terms of training and retraining in their respective areas, and of course in providing capital at a minimum interest, minimum. It's not like where we have in Nigeria 30% to whatever percent. That's not acceptable. So we have to do whatever it takes to support our young men and women. And that's exactly what we did in Kano. We established 26 institutes in just 4 years. And one of them is to train this entrepreneurship, to train them, to give them support. That was why part of the institutes we had was the institute of those who handle those who found themselves in drugs. We take them there after 3 months, we arrange for them to continue their education or train them in carpentry or welding or whatever they want to do. And then government was rich enough to give them capital even free of charge. We have done that many times and so on and so forth. So our policy is centered on the Nigerians themselves. And I want to underline the fact that ours in the NNPP is not based on ethnicity. It's not based on religion. It's not based in the north and south, even though our strength is in the north, simply because they know us. In the south, to me, we are like living in two countries. Many of the things that we have done in the north, you go to the south, people know close to nothing, and vice versa. And what our duty now is to tell them who we are. And that's why we are working very hard. That's why anytime we have an opportunity to go for debate or a town hall meeting, we go. But you know, many of them are running away. The last one was cancelled just a day before we left by channels and BBC. They aborted it because they don't have anything to say. Thank you very much.
I'm afraid that we have been defeated by the clock. We are over 10 minutes over. The full speech of Senator Kwankwaso will put up on the Chatham House website because he wasn't able to complete the whole presentation. So please just keep an eye on our website. My apologies also for those of you who are online, that we haven't taken more of your questions. There were many of them. What I will do is pass on the questions to the Senator's team so that they know what you were asking. I think that's the most appropriate way, so they know the issues that you were concerned with. And finally, I just want to thank you, Senator, for coming here to Chatham House. Good luck with the elections, and we hope to see you back soon. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And you've been listening to Rabiu Kwankwaso, the presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party, fielding questions from a live and virtual audience at Chatham House, the UK's independent policy institute, well known for debate and dialogue. Well, the discussion centered on Nigeria's 2023 elections, service delivery, and the policy alternatives for the country. The former Kano State governor, well, he elaborated on his party's policy ideas, which include improving education, creating a more conducive environment for business owners and foreign investors alike, his plans for the youth, and how he will address and or work with the invisible powers that be in the country. Now, this is just after a similar outing yesterday by Professor Mahmoud Yakubu of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and of course, Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi, who made an appearance this week as well on Monday, and their counterparts in the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, who made his own appearance at Chatham House last month.